Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here is Brace for Impact. Now, I'm going to make this very clear. I'm going to mention 3 things in this review that eventually is going to get you annoyed because I'm annoyed that I even have to say it. Now, I just want to give you a heads up on it because it's coming. If you hadn't seen actually on Twitch what I'm talking about, you will understand. Now, one thing I noticed when it came to watching Brace for Impact was Scott Demont was the one who was doing commentary with Josh Matthews. And it sounded really good with him there. Now, last Impact, it was Sanjay Dutt who was doing it. And I actually enjoyed Sanjay Dutt very much on commentary. I would like to see him do that from now on. If it is Scott Demont that's going to take over from him, I'm cool with it as well. But I really did like Sanjay Dutt on commentary. He did have an attitude I like. I know a lot of people would say he was a bit bland, but for me personally, I did enjoy it. He actually could talk very well. Now, many of the matches I'm going to mention are going to be very brief due to the fact of one of the glaring weaknesses this show had. And it was production quality. Watching them perform was a very hard thing because the camera work was so bad. Whoever was running the cameras for WrestlePro was not very good at it. Both of them were not doing very good at it. So it was very hard to watch what was going on because we couldn't see it all. So the first of the matches was a 6-man tag that had KM in it. And another guy that had been in it that was known as the guy from Insane Asylum. Now, what little I saw of him, he was interesting. Now, of course, the heels won, I believe. Was it the heels who won? Yes, it was the heels, I believe, who won. And in the end, KM challenged the Insane Asylum guy to take his gold championship. Because I believe they have a silver, a gold, and a bronze championship in WrestlePro. I could be wrong, you guys can tell me below. Because of what happened at the end of the night. Talking about a silver champion. But he was given the option by KM, if you want, I give you the right to be able to choose whatever match you want. And he chooses a steel cage match. Now, I would be interested in watching KM go up against this guy if the camera work was better and the lighting was better. It was cringeworthy. This kind of fell into what happened with, what was it? I'm trying to remember most of these names because it's very hard. I'm not used to the names, so it was Cody Cuppus versus, what was the guy's name? I can't remember his name. Oh, the guy who was on Impact, who was working for Top Team. He did a mock match against a guy that he was going to actually ask to get a match against, a welterweight. I can't remember his name right now. It was silly, but it was something that makes you laugh a little bit. And at least they kept it in the ring. The guy, he got a big ass belly. And he's supposed to be 176, 76 to 79 pounds? And it was funny to see how bad that work was. But it was still funny. You take it for what it is. It is a stupid segment, but it was funny. And I'll take it for what it was. Now, Chris Payne versus Matt Sydal, which never did happen. The Heavenly Bodies, who seems to know Chris Payne, tried to beat up a Matt Sydal because they felt Chris Payne didn't have the ability to take him out. So Chris Payne said, you know, you guys are a piece of work. You're stupid. You know what? Me and Matt Sydal could kick your ass. We're better than you guys are. So they actually had an impromptu tag match, which I think really didn't need to happen. I would have liked to see Chris Payne versus Matt Sydal, but I guess they thought it was better to do it like that. And then I did not see all of what was going on because the camera work was so bad. And then when they went outside the ring was the worst thing that could happen. The lighting was so bad. They kept the lights so dim. I don't know if they could just do lights on and lights off. I think it would have been better if the lights had just been left on. Yes, it would have shown how small the place was, but they already knew it was a gym. I would have liked to see the damn gym instead of just seeing darkness and some bulb lights going off from an LED, not bulb lights, LED lights going off when people are trying to take shots of it. It was that bad. I couldn't see anything on the outside. Very little could be seen, and that was across every match. And it was so frustrating. I could not tell what was going on most of the time in the ring. I couldn't tell anything that was going on outside the ring. In the end, Matt Sydal got the match. Won for him and Chris Payne, but it just felt a little sad. Ali and Braxton Sutter versus, Nikki and Nikos? Supposedly Nikki and Nikos are from Greece? The Spartan twins or something like that. It was... it was not that great. You know why? Because I don't want to see Sutter with Ali. Look, I don't know if they're still together in real life. Maybe they are. Because I've seen Ali's actual YouTube channel and Braxton Sutter was with her. I'm just saying this. If they are together or if they're not together, Ali should avoid him like the plague because he just doesn't really give her anything. Yes, if that's her boyfriend, she wants to work with him, fine. Let it be off Impact. Let it be on an indie show. But when it's on an Impact show, it just doesn't look right. It doesn't. I'm sorry, it doesn't. It just seems wrong. Because Ali's bigger than him. And she feels like she's being dragged down. In the end, it was the heels who won that were from WrestlePro. Which actually, I'm glad it happened because it doesn't work if Ali and Braxton Sutter had won anyway. Now, triple threat match. What was the guy's name? One was called the Bad Apple. And what was his name? Macintosh. Versus Bourne. Versus Eli Drake. And I felt sorry for Eli Drake. I'm not lying. Were the wrestlers that he was working with good? Yeah, they were. Bourne was pretty good, and so is Macintosh. I didn't really have a problem with it. Eli Drake did lead most of that match. You could see that he was doing very well with it. And he was making that match funny, and I was enjoying it. I was enjoying that match. At least until they went outside. And that's where they did a lot of the work. And the work outside was just horrid. It was so bad. At least I'll say this. And I believe it was BCW, Border City Wrestling, who had the worst ring with the loosest ring ropes I've ever saw. At least I will say with WrestlePro, the ring ropes were not loose. And that made me very happy. Particularly when Eli went and did a flip out of the ring. And if it was those loose ropes, he would have fell and broke his neck. I really believe he could have broke his neck if those ring ropes had not been tight and stiff. But in the end, it was Bourne who won. He seemed to be a crowd favorite, which it was alright. But it just... the lighting is what really turned me off. Now, Balaba versus Alberto El Patron. Now, I understand Balaba was a favorite of WrestlePro. He'd been there for quite a while. So, seeing that he had his own fan base actually made me happy to see. I'm not against Balaba. I actually like him. I really believe that they could do something interesting with him if they actually promoted the guy. But they have done almost nothing with him. Now, I know that Andre at one point told me they're actually planning to do something, which I truly hope they do. But seeing this actually made it okay for me. Now, was it a good match with Alberto? I don't know. It seemed like they weren't really a good chemistry together. Really, they didn't seem to have good chemistry. Maybe it was because Alberto wasn't very compatible with Balaba. Or Balaba was not really compatible with Alberto. There were some really funny moments when Balaba just splatted Alberto the first time. He splatted his ass when he did a sunset flip on him, and then he's going like, really? You're doing this to me? I'm going to splat your ass. Now that was gold. I enjoyed that. But after that, he did a couple of more splashes, I think was not really that good. And then the thing I thought that should have been done to win the match with Alberto would have been the cross arm breaker. And that didn't happen. And I felt that was something that should have happened in the match. Balaba was a much more bigger guy in girth compared to Alberto in muscle. And I felt the most weakest point on him would have been his arm. And that would have made him tap out. And I think that would have been the best thing to do. And I don't think it would have hurt Bala to tap out to the cross arm breaker to a former world champion. I think it would have been better. But that's just me. Finally, Johnny versus Dan Moff. Now, he was in the wrestling business for the last 20 years. 1998, I was 27 years old. Man, that's a long time ago. Oh my gosh. But the guy has been working for 20 years, and it shows. I gotta say that this was my favorite match of the night. Dan Moff really made a good match with Johnny Impact. He did. Now, were they selling a lot? No. Neither one of these guys was selling their perspective part of the match. Like most of these matches, not many people were selling much. Everyone was getting right back up. But you know what? In this particular match, it actually worked. I did enjoy this match the most. There's just one thing I hated, and that was the mic. That was the audio, which came across everywhere, across every match. The audio was so bad. I wanted to hear what Johnny Impact was saying. I'm saying it just this once. I wanted to hear what he was saying. Saying that he's been everywhere. He's wrestled against everyone. I heard him talk about John Cena, Rey Mysterio, Phoenix, and a couple other people. But then the audio just went low. And even when I turned my speakers to max, I couldn't hear him. I turned up the volume on Firefox. I still could not hear him. I turned the volume up on the Twitch window and the Twitch player. I still couldn't hear him properly. It was making me so angry that I could not hear him trying to put him over and say, I have wrestled everybody. I figured out what he was saying because it was obvious. He was showing him respect. And that was because Scott DeMont and Josh Matthews pretty much repeated what he said. And that made me so freaking angry. Look, I understand promotions don't have much money. A lot of them are working on shoestring work. But you know what? You cannot tell me if another promotion approaches you and tells you, listen, particularly an internationally known promotion, no matter how weak Impact Wrestling has become, it is still well known internationally. Their own wrestlers have now gone to WWE. That's how well established they are. No matter even if their name was Tits and Ass Wrestling. Doesn't matter. But they approach you and they say, we're going to film you. We want to film you. You can have your own people film it, but make sure the quality is really good. Come on. You are about to be seen internationally. Now, mind you, on Twitch, it was only about 1,100 people that came to the Twitch, including myself. That's the max I saw. Now, it could have been much more than that, but I only saw 1,100 people watching it. But it doesn't mean it won't be repeated and people won't see it. But here's the thing. If the rest of these special events are going to have promotions that don't up their game, this is not going to last long. Because the crowds of people who watch the you know how I feel about the GWN network, are going to get angry. The people who go to the live events are going to get angry because they're going to see that they can't see what the frick is going on if the promotion they're doing the special event is not willing to do the proper work, properly making sure the lights work, making sure the audio is in a position that can be heard from the cameras and from the cameras that's recording everything. Making sure, definitely, that if the lighting is done properly, it's got to be outside the ring, inside the ring. It just was cringeworthy. But I won't say they don't have good wrestlers, because WrestlePro does have some pretty good wrestlers. And a lot of the stuff that was going on in the ring was not too bad, even if you could barely hear it. But this is just my point of view. You guys tell me below. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace.